Hello. Hello, it's stream time. It's stream time. Let's see if I remembered to put my microphone on the Drawfee stream thing. Let's see. Here we go. Hi, everyone. How are you all? Yeah, this is where the watch is gonna sit. This is where the watch is gonna sit. It's gonna be great. Oh yeah, I forgot that I'm wearing a lot of makeup. Jacob and I recorded a CTA just before this, and I went in too hard on that CTA. Whose birthday is it? Dabachu? Happy birthday for you. We're assembling a watch today because people kept requesting that I assemble a watch, and I put it off because all of my tools are at my parents' house. But I have some tools with me. Foxnado, thank you for the sub. Thank you for everyone who's subbing. I'll probably miss a bunch because I'll be working on this watch. I'm really excited to show everyone watches. I'm really excited. I love watches. I love watches. I love pocket watches. It's great. I have some of the ones that I haven't fixed yet, my old pocket watches that I haven't fixed yet. And then I bought a kit because my brother requested I make him a watch, but he requested this in the year of our Lord 2020, which I cannot get home to my parents' house to go get my tools. So I bought a kit, and the kit's really nice actually. Comes with these parts, you'll see. I can't zoom out or do anything, but you'll see I've got my brother's initials in on here. I have to keep remembering which way the camera's going because my camera setup is a mess. But yeah, it's this really lovely kit that comes with, all the pieces that I'll need. Comes with a bunch of tools. Bam, it's Ham. Thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. My brother's name is Mike, so, that's why it had M on it, ML. Okay. I'm going to show you some of my watches. They're really old. I have a bunch of my antique watches here. This is a hand that I have. Okay. So I'll pull out one of my more busted ones that you guys can see. I'll show you, and I'll try to explain how a watch works for those of you who don't know how a watch works. This one is pretty cool. It still has its whole casing. Fun fact about watches, pocket watches, is that the movements, which is everything under here, basically a movement is this thing. Movement is all of the gears and things that make the watch go. See, it has the hands. This is where the watch face would go. This is called movement. The movement would be sold separately from the case. So you can never tell exactly what is going on with a pocket watch by looking at the case. Like you can see that there's, well, I would have to manually focus, but there's numbers here. That's just numbers for the case. That's not numbers for the movement. I'll show you the numbers for the movement. I'll show you my favorite example because it's the most busted and I can just flip it around. Here's my busted Elgin watch. From what I remember, it's from the late 1800s. Thank you, by the way, again, to everyone who is subscribing. I can't read out everyone's name because I am explaining, but I apologize. Let's see if I can get this to focus because I would really like to show you guys. Okay. Okay. So here we go. So this is my beautiful Elgin. This is my beautiful Elgin watch. I have a few of them. These are some old pocket watches. But you can see on the movement, if I can get this just right. There we go. See, it says Elgin National Watch Co. Maybe I'll get, hold on. I have my tools over here. Point to it with this. I'm trying to keep everything like on the desk because if a single piece of cat fur gets into this watch, we are doomed. And also the cats are right there. Olive is in this little box. We've created a little trap for her. Anyway, this is the Elgin watch. Oh, there we go. You can really see it there. But see, it says Elgin. Elgin Watch Co. And then there's a bunch of numbers under here. This actually tells you when the watch is made. So there's some websites that you can go to that have the that you can like look up the make and model. You can look up like this number, and I forget what it is. I forget what the website is, but see again, this is where the face would sit. Yeah, something that I really love about these watches, and again, this is my most beat up one. This is one that I just like toss around and show as an example because I'm okay with, you know, beating it up. It can't get any worse than it is, really. Itty bitty screwdriver. Look at how tiny this thing is. This is how tiny this is. Look at this. Look at how tiny. It's itty bitty. Anyway, let's see if I haven't actually tried to use this screwdriver on. You know what? Maybe I'll get. Maybe I'll get my other screwdrivers. I do have other screwdrivers. Give me 1 second. Problem with using screwdrivers that are super tiny on screws that are kind of bigger is that I don't want to break this because I don't have a replacement for this guy. So let's see if one of these will work. Again, I don't have my tools with me. They're all at my parents' place. That's a little too big. And this one is very busted. Let's see if we can make this work. No, I cannot get this one out. Can I get this one out? Let's see. No. Yeah, again, unfortunately I don't have all my tools. That's okay. So, let me pull out a slightly less busted one. Oh yeah, remember what I said about the case? So, I have an example of a case here for everyone. Here would be a case. This is a pretty typical one. This is called the crown. This is the arm that powers the whole thing, or you turn it to store the power in the case. But basically you would take this guy, put the face on, put the arms on, and then you would sit it in this. So there you go. So let's move this out of the way. Let's move this. This one's really pretty. This one's another hella busted one that's a little bit older, or younger, I guess. It's from the early 1900s. That one's from the early 1900s. Oh, this one's pretty cool. This is one of my few Harden ones. It's called Harden. The company's called Harden. See if we can't. There we go. See, it says Harden right there. This one's also from the early 1900s, I believe, or the late 1800s. Can never remember. So, its model number is here. Whoops. There we go. Model number is like right here. You can't really see it. You can kind of see it now. See that? There's a cat. Where's the cat? It's okay. Okay. So something that amazes me with all these watches is how tiny everything is, right? So this thing, 1800s, right? We were like sawing off people's leg because they got a splinter and it would probably get infected, so we sawed off a leg, right? A cat hair on my table. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Thank you. So basically, this thing right here, whoops, let me recenter myself. This thing right here is called the barrel. There we go. This thing. And it has a spring in it. A metal, it's like a metal, long, rectangular, coiled spring. And it's in here. And it's basically what stores all the power. Because all of these watches need to be turned every 24 hours. It can hold up to 24 hours of power. So, you see that your crown would go in here. It would go in and it would rotate. And you're winding this. You're winding this little guy. And I would open it, but again, I don't think I have the proper, I can try. No, that's gonna be too small. Yeah, I'm super bummed that I don't have all my tools, but I got excited. I wanted to show people my watches. Dang. Diggity dang. Actually, this one I broke a long time ago. I was like a kid. I've had these stupid, no. I really feel like these should work. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm gonna show you guys what's under. How'd you get into this? Do you have any advice for getting started? There's plenty of kits out there. I will show you a kit that I bought to make my brother's watch. And it's really, really simple. It's kind of expensive. It's like about 200 bucks. But it comes with all the tools you'll need. It comes with all the pieces you'll need. And it comes with a guide. So, and you get to pick your style of watch. It's very nice. It's called Rotate Watches. You guys can imagine that this is not how I work normally, so it's a little weird. Because I have this camera that's like right on top. I think a thing, if anyone knows anything about pocket watches that I always get a question about, is jewels. Because they're always like, you know, how many jewels are in your pocket watch? Thinking that that means that it's like better or more expensive. More jewels does not necessarily mean that it's better. But it does make it smoother. Let's see if that's enough to get that out. It's jewels, like a jewel, like a crown jewel. But it just means that it's like this is a jewel. Usually they're like a fuchsia color. So the thing with all these watches, look how tiny this little spring is. Look at how tiny that is. If you guys want some sort of like, I don't know, comparison, let me see if I can get a coin. I'll get a dime. Here's a dime. There's a good old American dime. So this spring that I just pulled out, it's a little bit bigger than what's his face's ear. It's minuscule. This is a jewel. It basically just makes things a little bit smoother. And so you see these little guys at the end here. You see that I'm missing two. And that's because those are the things that you put them in and it locks it into the case. Whoa! So anyway, let's try to get this guy out. Some of them might not come out. They might need to be cleaned. I haven't really futzed with too many of these. Yeah, this might not come out. I can probably take... This is, so this thing that you see here, this whole thing is like the balance. See this guy, usually when old watches break, it's because there's a spring in here that is not actually here. Let's see if I can get this guy out. But when it goes, and it's like a tiny, tiny, tiny little wire. Again, this thing is from like the 1800s. We were sawing off people's legs. And yet they made something this tiny. Oh yeah, look at the beautiful face. I forgot to show you guys the face of this. Yeah, there you go. Look at that beautiful face. Isn't that nice? So, I'm going to try to show this right here. Okay, so you see this guy. This guy is what makes that ticking noise when you are listening to a watch and it's going tick, 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 tick. It's this spinning back and forth, right? And that's because there's a wire that is, oh, it's actually in there. It's just busted as heck. I'll see if I can't. I was trying to get this out before, but it's a little rusted. I'm not super precious with any of these because they're super old. Well, not that they're super, they're super busted is what I should say, not super old. See if I can't. One of our cats is exploring a thing. Let me put the spring back in and I'll show you maybe on a different watch. One of my contacts is shifting majorly. I'm so excited that people are watching me assemble a watch because it's something that I find to be so enjoyable. There's something very relaxing about, you know, fixing something. I say as I can't get this flippin' spring in. I mean this screw in. It's actually not going in properly. I think that whole thing got a little bit busted. Alright, it's actually in. Okay. I think this one was just wrapped up like this. Like this. Let's see if I can't. See, this one's missing that the whole balance arm. This whole bit's missing. The part that goes tick, 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 tick. You can see it here. It's right there. On this old You know what? I'm actually going to show you guys this one because it's really pretty. Okay. So here's a cool watch. Let me get it as close to the camera as possible. And then... There you go. I hope that's clear for you guys. Is our cat on the ladder?
No, you put the ladder behind my wheel.
Oh, sorry.
So I moved and knocked it.
Yeah, so here is this really beautiful watch. As you can see, it's from the Illinois Watch Co. You can see right here, it says, sorry, my camera is actually sideways, so it's a little hard for me to see. It says Springfield. There it is. And then safety pinion. You can see the numbers right there. If you guys want to look it up, you can look up. You can probably see on the website. You can Google like watch movement number, make number. So that's 583773, and you'd have to put in the Illinois Watch Co. And they might have a year for it. So if you want to look it up, go for it. Please tell me the year that comes back. And then look at this balance arm. Look at I can't even like get it properly. Hold on. Can I? No, that's about as good as I can get. Which is a real shame because it's absolutely beautiful. Joy, don't you flippin' dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Kitty. Kitty, no. Thank you, Joy. Thank you for stopping by. Joy jumped onto my lap. So anyway. Yeah, you can't really see it, unfortunately. But there's this beautiful etching here. Where you can see... There you go. Where you can see all these beautiful little floral details. And like... You can see that there's little notches here above. You can kind of see it above it. Right there. 1886. All right. That's awesome. So this watch is from 1886. Well, this is probably the original face, too, because it's from Illinois. Or the Illinois company. See that? And you can see that it has a little seconds hand, which is amazing. But you can kind of see, I'll see if I can show it to you guys. Okay, so you see right here, there's that little wire in there. It's like a coiled, super thin, I mean, because you can see my thumb here. That's how small it is. Let me pull up this thing. Here's a dime for you. That's how small it is. It's a little coiled wire from 1886. And this thing bounces back and forth. And there's supposed to be a little dial here that you can like point it towards one of these etchings to give it the speed. Sometimes if you're as someone from Illinois, I appreciate that you don't pronounce the S. I am French and also a New Yorker. I think we all pronounce it without the S here. So you can determine the speed. If your watch is running a little fast, you might be able to open it and move it a little bit slower. There's an S here for slower and an F for faster. Sorry, a little far away. See if we can't get that. It's a little S here. And F here. But this thing ticks back and forth. And what you're not seeing under here is that there's a little, it's called a fork. It's this little thing. It's like, it's like this shape, and then there's an arm that comes out like this, and then there's a smaller little like U shape at the top. And basically, this thing will spin back and forth just like this. I mean, you can see it now. Look at it go. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? See how it's bouncing? Boop, 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 boop. So it flicks onto the, it like catches that smaller part of the fork, and then it hits, so it makes it tilt so that the larger part of the fork hits one of these like smaller gears. And that's the ticking noise that you hear, is that that fork is going back and forth and hitting the teeth of that gear. And so that's what determines like the speed. It basically doles out the power for the rest of the watch. Yeah, I love this one. This one's very pretty. Someone said that they pronounce Illinois like they pronounce Boise, and now I'm just thinking of Illinoisy. Come down to Illinoisy. All right. This is actually a pocket watch that my grandma bought me. It works, funnily enough. It's one of like my favorite things. I've never opened it because I was super scared too, but. Yeah, the arm gets stuck. You can spin it the wrong way, but not the proper way. Yeah. Anyway. It's absolutely beautiful, this watch. Let me look at these hands. We got some really pretty little hands there. And then that little gold, those little gold details. I just love it. Anyway, my grandma bought it for me at a like flea market in France. All right, let me get these guys. I have a lot of these. You can buy these for like $5 on eBay because they're not working and they require a lot of work. But these are some of my favorites, as you can tell, because they're thrown together in a bag. But this has some of my favorite detailing on it. Let's see if I can show you guys. There we go. See all that on that? This is that arm that I was talking about, where you can determine the speed. See? So this guy is actually missing this whole part entirely. See, there's no dude in here. But this is that barrel that I was talking about, that you wind and it keeps the power for you. Keeps the power. I'll see if I can't get that out, actually, so I can show you guys what's in there. I also love the writing on the Elgin watches. They had some damn good branding. Yeah, these aren't... I'm using, like, computer screwdrivers and not ones for watchmaking, so they're a little bit thick. They're not for dainty work. So I don't know if I'll be able to open it. There was one that I was able to open, like, all the time. Was it this guy? Was it Captain Busted? Might be Captain Busted. you'll see that this screw, let me show. You'll see this screw right here. Oh, there you go. Is chopped off. And that's because when you rotate it, it releases it from the movement. Because I'll show, from the case. I'll show you on a case. Let me show you actually the case that we're going to use later to build the watch with. You'll see that this is that crown I was talking about. Yeah. We'll put that at the end of the stem later. But basically, your watch sits on this lip. You can see that right there. So when you put it in, basically like this, right? This movement's too large for this thing. But basically then you rotate one of these, outside screws with that little chip, right? And then that holds on to that little lip. Let me get these out of here. Lip chip. Yeah, this might be a little gunked up. I haven't really looked at, might actually be rusted to it because they're so old. You can see where a screw was, and you can see that's all blackened. And that hole is all gunked up. If anyone wants to look this one up, the numbers are 6880287, and it's from the Elgin National Watch Co. Just noticing, I wish I had all of my equipment because I have special cleaner for this kind of metal, and there's a little inscription here that I've never noticed before. Let's see if I can. Thank you, Dancing Fox, for that information. That's super interesting. 1897, this watch. 2000 were made. It's a little inscription right here. See that? The watch kit that I got is a watch kit called Rotate Watches, by the way. I see people asking. Still trying to find an example for you. Oh, this one I would really like someone to look up, because this is genuinely one of my favorite watches that I have. It's in beautiful condition. It's this Elgin watch. Someone's cursing outside of our apartment and screaming. It's an Elgin. Here's the back. So you know those jewels I was talking about? That's these. Well, these are actually just really fancy screws. But the jewels are under here. So anyway, so the number for this one, this Elgin National Watch Co. It's 597811. This might be a newer one, but you can see that coil I was talking about there. Right in there. 1879, huh? That's awesome. See how it bounces back and forth? I really wish I could show you guys. Again, I don't have all my stuff. You can see that the stem is stuck in there. So you would need to remove that. You'd probably have to put a crown on it, actually, to remove it. Or you can use wire pullers. But you would ultimately want to take this out and then unscrew its little thing. See? Okay. Then I have this guy's actually pretty clean. But this guy also has some really nice detailing right on the balance thing there, right there. This one's number. This one is a... It says Awu on top, which is very funny. Anyway, it's a Waltham. It says Waltham, Massachusetts. AWW00 or 00. And then the number for it is 19528259. Oh, but there's another number here. 528259. So I don't know which one you use. Usually it's the one on the back, but... I really wish I could open one of those barrels for you guys. 1914. Nice. Someone may have bought themselves this as like a little victory present after the war. World War One. It's always interesting to think about the dates that these come from and like what happened that year and where it's from and what was happening there at that time. Isn't that cool? Like, most of these watches were probably seen by someone who lived through the Civil War. Isn't that wild? Let's put this back. This is that Illinois that we saw before. This, I think, is just a case. Yeah. This busted case. Oh, yeah, sorry. What did I say? Did I say it ended in 1914? Am I a dingus? Sorry. There's a lot going on. I apologize. This Elgin one, which I think is one of my younger ones. 32611-481. Anyway, let's go to making the watch. Let's do it. And let me just get all this schmutz off my desk. Where do I find these? eBay. Oh, I never opened this one. You can tell it's special because I've actually protected it. Elgin? Okay. Good to know. Thank you for the info. Oh, I think this is... Yeah, this is just a case. It's a pretty case. I think I bought it because a friend of mine asked me to fix her up a pocket watch, and I wound up not being able to make it for whatever reason. And then there's this one. Almost done. Almost done just showing off all my pocket watches. Open sesame, please. So here's another Illinois. There you go. There's that busted ass face. See all the cracks in the porcelain? Here is the very shiny back. And something I really like about this is that there's a lot of subtle detailing in here. You can see it like in the center there, that little flower, but that's actually everywhere on that watch. See it? See that very light milling to it? It's almost like it was sanded to be this weird kind of, trippy outside, but this one's actually probably my best kept condition one. This one's 11 jewels. These are the jewels. These are these little gold things. $19.16. Very cool. Julie, do you know how many people you're getting into watches? I hope so. Because the thing about watches is that it's basically affected all of technology. And that's why I find it so interesting. You have like automata, right? You have these machines that, if you look it up, there was a machine that played chess and beat, Napoleon, or Napoleon tried to cheat, and then the machine, it was a guy. It was like a big wooden dude would knock the pieces off the board when Napoleon cheated, and then you would have, he would beat everyone else at chess, and then you would have these things that would write like full letters, and it dealt with like cylinders and things, and that is all built around, similar technology to this. There's also so many things that use these like principles, these interlocking gear principles. Like, you can find the same kind of principles in early cars. You can find it in, I was thinking of an example the other day that was like, had the exact same mechanics as a watch, just repurposed to do a different task. But what was it? What?
I thought I remembered.
Right?
It wasn't like a record player or a...
Well, yeah, phonographs.
Gramophone.
Yeah, those are all similar. But it was something else, wasn't it?
Something else. I don't remember. I thought I could help, but I couldn't help.
I was ranting to Jacob about how cool all this is, that it like kind of transcended, but it's like, if you know how to fix the watch, you kind of know how to fix a gramophone, or, in turn, a record player, or all of these things. There's, it's just like super cool. It's super cool that they could figure this out and have it be this tiny little powered machine with these itty bitty little wires that kept everything in time. All right. Let's go to the actual watch we're going to make. Let me get all this crud off my desk. My mom is texting me. Okay. All right. So we got our movement. This is basically a newer version of what we were just looking at, right? Those are pocket watches. This is a wristwatch. There's not much difference, really. In principle, it's the exact same thing. Not much has changed with watches, other than, once you get to battery-powered ones. This is a mechanical watch, meaning that, like the wristwatch, it needs no battery, it needs no external power. All it needs is for you to wind this guy. You just need to turn this for 24 hours, and your watch will continue to work forever until one of those finicky little springs breaks, right? By the way, when I first got into watchmaking, I bought a book about, how to make a watch and fix a watch and all these things. And literally the first line was, you probably know how to fix a watch thanks to having to fix your phonograph. And I was like, I don't. Should I learn? All right. People are talking about my persona. Literally based my persona off of my personality. I mean, my hobbies. I've been doing this for a while now, on and off, very loosely. I love it. I love watches. I love watches. I love anything mechanical. I love anything you have to fix that has gears, that has no electronics in it. It's all physics. Ooh, and craftsmanship. I just punched my camera. I'm so excited about watches. It's just physics and craftsmanship. It is the perfect marriage of art and science together. Okay. I need my gloves. I need my gloves. I need this. I need this. Don't need that glue yet. That O is very Roblox. Great. Ugh, put my hair up. So, we're going to start with this movement. Where did I get my fancy / professional clothes? This was from Unique Vintage. Of course. As you do, it's expensive, but I bought this when my cat was dying and I was feeling depressed. And I had to do some retail therapy, which is not something I often do. Okay. I also want everyone to know that I have a record player that only plays records that are pre-World War II. It's super cool. All right. So we have to pop this open. There we go. We've popped this open. So this part, the very boring part. Why only one glove? Because my hands get sweaty, dog. I'll put on the other glove later. I should probably put it on now, actually. I put it on my right hand because I'm a righty, but then I realized that I'm probably going to be holding it with the right hand, and I should be using... I'd be holding it with my left, actually, and then using tools with my right. Olive is alive and is getting better, yes. She is currently in a box, a rectangular box that has her little fear towel in it. We call it the fear towel because it's what we use to hold her down to put pills in her throat. Okay. All right. So, our first task here is take out the stem, which is, I'm going to actually use this. I have, again, in my tools, I have this little fancy, like, holder to hold the movement while you're working on it, so you don't, well, actually, I'm going to remove the hands first, so you don't break anything. Here are my fancy, this part is always very finicky, because it's very tight. So it requires, you don't want to like bend it, so you don't want to go, you know, full power on it. There we go. There's one. Have I watched Dark? Yes. I'm watching it again because Jacob hasn't seen it. And we're making our way through it. We stopped for a while because, again, very depressed about our cat. But now that our cat is on the mend, we will probably get back into it. It was just like a lot. It was a lot at once. 2020 is a lot. Texting friends in California. Stressed out and I don't even live there. So this part is the little seconds hand that I'm trying to get off. I will show you how ungodly small it is. I'm trying to get off that guy, this little gold dude. See that? And again, just to compare it, there's a dime. So I'm trying to get it off its little arm without bending it. Nope, don't want to do that. Can I? This is probably ill-advised. Alright. I got the dang thing off. See how tiny that is? Whoa, my camera. There we go. And let's just, again, do a wee comparison there. That's that little seconds hand. That's that minutes hand. Don't ask me where the hour hand is. I don't know. That's okay, because I have this little handy dandy box of extra bits that we're going to have to put in. And it comes with an extra minute and hour hand. See? Little bits. We're going to keep those safe. Oh, and by the way, the face that I bought to go with this. What's this guy? Pretty simple. My brother wants me to put my name on it. So I'll probably wind up writing my name right here. Turn autofocus off. Yeah, it has been off. I have been changing it myself. And I know I'm not doing the best job, but there's a lot going on. But yeah, my brother wanted me to make him a watch. So that's what we're doing. Is it paper? No, it's like this little, I'm going to assume that it's like aluminum with maybe a little bit of porcelain on top. And then this is printed on, it's like gold emboss. See, it's all flickery and nice. Okay, so now we have to take out this guy. There we go. I also apologize that my focusing has not been the best. We're going to use this little tray to hold all my bits and bobs. Make sure your bits and bobs are well held at all times. Show them a little affection. All right. So, this is where all the magic happens, this little part, right? So basically, we want to take this guy out. And what's keeping this guy here is this itty bitty little screw. I'm going to show you the little screw. Okay, so this is like the tiniest screw I've ever seen in my life. Right? This little guy. Again, give you a little bit of perspective on how small that is. See that? See that little thing? Smaller than the E in Liberty. That's how small that is. So, I'm probably going to lose it immediately. Let's try not to. Okay. It is very pretty. It has all this like beautiful etching on it. Not as pretty as my antique ones. Also, I hope the volume is good for everyone. So basically, we don't want to take the screw out. We just want to rotate it. It's being a pain in my patoot. It does not want to turn. Come on. The problem with having such tiny tools is that everything is very fragile. And I don't want to turn too hard. But if this screw continues to be a little bitch, I'm going to be forced to put a lot of power in. Someone said that they wanted to get breakfast but didn't want to miss anything. Don't worry, I'm apparently going to work on this screw for the rest of my goddamn life. I'm gonna kick your ass. Someone said she's actually doing this. I thought it was a joke. No. Unfortunately, I do not kid about watches. Why must you be this way? See if any one of my other... No, that's way too big. That one's busted as hell. Yesterday was Columbo's birthday. That's nice for Columbo. Happy birthday, Columbo. Is it Columbo's birthday or Peter Falk's birthday? Why you gotta be so rude? Oh! Oh, we got it. Celebrate good times. Come on. See how the stem popped out a little bit? Celebrate good times. Come on. Okay. Okay, you little asshole. You gonna turn? Alright. Now here comes the point where we gotta do a lot of jiggling and wiggling. There we go. We got the stem out. Cool thing about the stem, which I'll show you if I can. See, it has this cool shape to it. Anyway, it has, I don't know if you can see it, but see how this part is a barrel and then this part is this weird triangular shape? That's because it fits into a very specific shape into the watch to make sure it's like nice and sturdy in there, and then it spins that that barrel that we were talking about earlier, which is right here. think this is the barrel on this watch. This guy. Basically the barrel. I keep saying barrel and spring, but it's like, it's basically like these two pieces where it's this little encasing like this, and inside is this rectangular coil. It's a rectangular coil. That's the power thing. Never going to be able to open this again. Okay, there we go. All right. So now we have the stem out. So the stem, which is in this little hole right here. That's where the stem goes. When we put it back in later, you'll say, oop. That goes in the side of the watch, you know. Okay. Now we're going to do a thing called casing the movement, which is that we take this case. We're going to take the crown off. Weird little gadget from my grandpa. Absolutely send that to me. I love that stuff. Okay. So we have that. So basically casing the movement means that we take this guy and then we... Oh shit. Oh, this fucking little piece. I was swinging it around too much. Alright, that's okay. This little guy goes in the stem. I'll just put it back in. It's fine. Everything's fine. I definitely don't mess up majorly. I actually didn't. It's fine. That'll get locked in when the stem gets put in. So the stem's there. As you can see, the stem hole is right there. Stem hole. That's what we're going to call it, I guess. So this part was always a bit of a pain in the butt to do. Okay. We're going to try to line this up as best as we can. Okay, we're going to maybe shift it a little bit. Sorry for the weird angle. I know you guys aren't seeing much, but I messed up this part last time. It took me forever to fix it. So, it's not aligned again. Okay, basically what I'm trying to do is see the hole from the movement there. You see that little hole? And line it up here. Which is why there we go. I think that's it. Really like off center though. Well, by off center I mean I just get such a I get like such a good feeling out of fixing something like this. Would be nice if I had those finger condoms that everyone's talking about, but I don't own those. Okay. Ooh, flippity flip, flippity flippin' flip. Okay. That is good enough for right now. We are going to have to say that is okay. It is just fine. Que sera, sera. Comme ci, comme ça. Okay. Do I speak French at all? Yes. I speak conversational French. I must speak to my grandmother. Okay. So we're going to put this to the side now because we are going to deal with the most nerve-wracking part, which is cutting the stem. Can I speak French with a Long Island accent? No, but my father can. Which I'm muttering French to myself. Yeah, it's a habit I picked up from my dad, I think. So, basically, we need to cut the stem, this guy, because if we were to insert it here, it would be too long. C'est juste comme ça. Okay? So, we're going to insert it. We're going to get it to fit. I said that we are going to get it to fit. There we go. So, origin, fuck off. Okay. So, see how now when I turn it, it's kind of catching? Oh, also, oh, you could hear it for a second. Because I don't want to actually turn it. But, so we're going to have to cut off this amount, just about half that, and put this guy on it. We basically have to recrown it. Okay. Move this to the side. Okay. I basically always go very conservatively with this. Well, should I go like this? Let's do it like this. Un, deux, trois. I did a lot of construction work with my dad growing up. So I wind up speaking a lot of French, and I apologize whenever I do work. So we're definitely going to have to cut it again. The king is dead. Long live the new king. Let's see how much we have to cut off. Mon Dieu. A lot. Thank you everyone for your subs, by the way. I'm sorry that I'm not reading them out. But, I do not want to mess up my brother's watch. Oh la la. Why not mark it? Because I can't find a pen. Quite honestly. I don't have a marker that thin. Oh no. I think I may have messed up the... I may have messed up the spring, or not the spring, but the coil. So let's just chop off a little bit more. Okay. I don't think that's enough to fit in the thing. Wouldn't it be prudent to use a tray so the stray bits don't fly away? Yeah, I have a little tray. But the crown fell out of my hand. Sometimes a tray gets in my way. Let me see what's happening. Vroom vroom. I'm so glad I closed the windows before this. I have to admit, doing the stem is not my favorite part. It's a lot of pressure. Okay. See if we can fix this. And if it's not, it's okay. I bought a second movement just in case. I should be able to fix it. See, some people are speaking French in the chat now, which makes me happy. Oh, I got caught for a second, and then I got distracted. Let us do this. Hoopla. Et voilà. Okay. Let's see if this fits. Okay. We have a lot to chop off. But that's okay. You know, I would rather go slow on this so that we don't ruin the whole dang thing. Because it's very hard to put stuff back on. Come on. Hoopla. Okay. That also was not enough, I don't think. Sometimes I get that song. I have not been able to speak recently. Sometimes I get that song stuck in my head. When I faked it, it's been told I sound Canadian. Canadian is very nasally to me. No offense to any French Canadians in the chat. I mean, no offense. It's just what it sounds like to me. See, we gotta get that little part off. We're making incremental progress, which is the kind of progress that I want. I speak Spanish, I sound like an idiot. Language doesn't stick in my brain very well. I have a hard time with French. I have a hard time with English, as we all know, if anyone watched the stream last night. Oh, almost perfect. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Just like a... You guys see how small that is? See how tiny that is? So tiny. I'm enjoying that I'm making watches and people are talking about language. There's something very, like... I don't know, nice about that. Thank you for the compliments of my outfit. I was dressed like a vampire. Note the makeup. Not an hour before this stream. Wear goggles. When you do this, wear goggles. Oh. Just hit myself in the eyelid. Why vampire? You'll see. You'll see eventually. I had a very dumb idea. Look at that. Hear that? Okay. The stem part always really freaks me out. It's so sweaty in here. I'm having coffee while I'm assembling a watch, which is a bad idea. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to anchor the movement to the case, which is, this stresses me out the most because it's the most like if you go too far, you ruin the whole thing. Last time I did this, it took me like 2 hours and I wanted to scream. So we'll see how this goes. Okay. And I say that it made me want to scream because I have to take... See if I can show this off. Hopla. Back in. S'il te plaît. Let's move this little piece of metal off of my desk. Merci beaucoup. Okay, actually I'm going to move this over here. Okay, so the little anchoring guys that I talked about before that make me lose my mind. It actually isn't very well seated. There we go. It's a little bit better. I'm just trying to force it in there a little bit more. You don't really want to force anything on a watch, but this movement's a pain in the butt. All right. So, what we have to do we have to do is we have to do the most finicky pain in the ass step ever. Can't even get these mother flipping parts out of the thing. Yeah. There we go. Nope. Dropped it. Too late. This thing. See this thing? Let me put it in my hand. See that? See how there's a slight bevel? I have to put this guy on the watch and this guy on the case. I have to put them into cases. Again, example, there's a dime. There's a dime. The screw that I have to use with it So I suggest if any of you were going to go out, make yourself some food, go take a nice relaxing bath, you can go do that and you won't miss a single thing. What the hell? Someone started following my supernatural thing, which I do not want. I do not want people to see how lazy I'm being. Have you ever done pocket knife repairs? I think this is more finicky. All right. Oh, let me adjust the focus again. So let's put, and I have to do 2 of these. Thank God it's only 2. So I've looped that. Now what we're gonna do I really regret having coffee. Of course you flipped upside down. Of course. Of course you did. And of course you messed up my seating of the finicky ass little bracket. Of course you did. Why wouldn't you have? Let me actually, it's a little off again. There we go. Much better. There. Sorry, I was looking at something.
You look like a crazy person right now. With the makeup and the shirt and the glove.
I don't know what you are talking about. Can you do me a favor?
What's that?
Can you turn on the air conditioner, please?
I can.
Thank you, my dear. Do I ever use those magnifying glass things? I have one of the ones that sits over your eyes and that has a little light. But right now I have this. There's cat fur all over it, of course. Welcome to the Liberty Andrews household. Wow, that air conditioner is loud. I can fix that.
You have the noise reduction thing on?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
added it.
Just double checking.
I put it at like 50.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Thank you. Did you see my setup? It's like wild. Hold on. You ready? There's a light that we took from in the living room. There's the watches. There's my actual webcam. I'm using Jacob's webcam for my face. And then there is the microphone. All right. Yeah, if you watch a repair shop, then you'll see all of, like, they keep going to the watch dude for everything. Everything that involves gears, they go to the watch dude. Nope, that's not the one I wanted to fix. I wanted to fix this one. I am on the case. Sorry. I'm very professional. Okay. We have another swig of coffee because it's the only beverage I have. Let's try this again. You know what? I have putty somewhere. Let me get my putty. Got it. Putty. So putty, just like you guys know kneaded erasers. Basically using a kneaded eraser. If you don't know what putty is. And I'm basically going to use it to hold the screw that's not a screwdriver. This is a screwdriver. Not like that. If you guys want to see what I'm doing, just trying to cram this in. Right, that's pretty. Oh, you joik. Mamma mia. Pizzeria. I got the screw in, but not in the flippin' bracket. The bracket moved. Mamma mia. Here we go again. My. How could I? Mamma mia. Here we go again. Mama. It's delicious pizza. I hope my sister-in-law never watches this. She's Italian. She'd be very disappointed in me, and I don't want her to be disappointed in me. She's a very nice lady. And I respect her greatly. Mamma mia! Holy shit! No! So, I've had a catastrophic failure. The little bracket that I put here got stuck to my screwdriver and went behind that finicky little wire where if it breaks, the whole thing is kaput. Excuse me. Okay. I'm a genius. I'm an actual genius. I did it. That was like Operation the Game hard mode. Alright, well, that sucked. Alright, let's not do that again, shall we? And if I do it again, I quit. Watches forever. Forever and ever. Alright. What happened was that I shook it a lot. It moved it to a nicer place for me to grab. And I hooked it out because my screwdriver is very bent at this point. It has a slight lip on it. It's hard to do because the camera is directly in my way. Oh. Get back in there. Nope, this is how we failed last time. You see this? You see this bullshit? You see this? It's attached to my screwdriver. Don't know if it's because my screwdriver is magnetized. Most screwdrivers are magnetic, yeah. But it also has a slight lip on it because, you know, that's what happens when you use small screwdrivers. Thank you to everyone for hanging out and watching my messing up how to build a watch. I hope you guys find it, what the fuck, entertaining. No. No. Okay. That's better. I like repairing anything. Someone was just talking about pocket watch repair. I fix cars. I fix electrical. I'll fix a damn toilet. I don't really care. There's a satisfaction in taking something that isn't anything that's not computer based. I don't find any real satisfaction in that. Sorry. Not an insult, just not my personal preference. And I'm gonna kick your ass if you keep doing this to me. Yeah, I fix basically anything and everything. If there's a thing to be fixed, I want in. Okay. Can you fix my mental health? I can't fix my own, alright? That's why there's experts for that. That's why there's very expensive experts. I almost had it just now, which is encouraging. I just gotta keep being patient. Keep being patient, keep trying. We'll get there. That's fine. It's always been a pain in the patoot. Nope. Did not mean to use the screwdriver. I have to stop using the screwdriver because it's flipping magnetic. Okay. Here we go, one more time. My body's feeling fine. Here we go now. You know that song's in sync because they say in sync in the song. You're like, is that the Backstreet Boys? And you're like, nah, dog. They say in sync. Are you even listening to Jay-Z? Jay-Z? JT? Are you even listening to JT? Because then you're listening to the wrong group. I got the screw in the hole. I got the screw in the hole. But you know what happened? The bracket flipped upside down. NSYNC has got the flow. How? I don't know. If I knew how, I'd be fixing it. Alas, here we are in dipshit land. Not actually mad. It was all a bit. Now I can't get the screw out. Can't get the screw out. So Shit. Hey, must be the money. Here's what you guys are gonna learn about me and when I work on things. Is that when I'm fixing things, I say a lot of French. And I sing a lot. That's how I keep things light. How I stay enjoying myself. How's Olive doing? She is completely passed out in a box right now. She's doing great. She's a whole brand new ass cat. Which is great, but also now that means we have a second gremlin in this house. I'm getting my old busted ass screwdriver. So I don't care if this one breaks because I already broke it. There we go. Alright, let's do that again. And this time, properly. Guys. Okay. I thought I had did it correctly. But I didn't. So it's good that we took everything out and we're redoing it. Here we go, one more time. Everybody's feeling fine. Here we go now. Music's got the flow. I used to have very bad anger management problems, but I feel like doing really finicky work has really taught me how to just take control of it. I used to get like fly off the handle mad. I had a lot of stuff to work on, but working on watches really kind of helped me there. I'm going to show you guys where this is going. Look at it go. I guess I turned the stem. See how it's going one way and then back? And you guys can hear it. Well, you might not because I have the sound suppressor on, but yeah, I feel like you have to learn how to manage your anger when you're working with finicky things, or else you're just going to be flying off the handle screaming all the time. You know, let's get both screws in, and then we'll tighten them, because right now it's kind of fighting me. So let's just move on for a second. My mom called me the angriest person she's ever met, which I think is true. Again, I'm working on it. What do I do with the watches when they're done? Give them out as presents. This one's going to my brother. My brother and I get along very well. He's always been one of my best friends. Because I didn't have a lot of friends when I was a kid. people find out you're deaf and they're like, it's too complicated. Then they move on. But you know, I can't blame them, I guess. Not everyone has the capacity to deal with that. My brother always did. Oh, refocused camera. Yes. Oops. Thank you. Sorry about that. There we go. Oh. Okay. Anyway, I'm very lucky to have a brother like mine. But also my parents had to spend a lot of time with each other. That was like supervised by them. So I think it, you know, they kind of spent some time on being like, you know, cooperation, this and that. I'm very lucky to have the family that I do. I do love my family. My parents are great people. They ain't perfect, but who is? Ditto on my brother. My brother's a teacher now in the Bronx. If anyone goes to RKA, we got it, ladies and gentlemen. We got it. And we just got to get this putty off. Olive has woken from her slumber. Okay, time to tighten these. Whoops. My family never learned sign language. My parents were 27 when they had me. I think they were dealing with a lot. My dad was learning English. So I never learned sign language. I just learned how to read lips and I made up some words as a kid. Let's one screw in. Come on. There we go. My brother is currently making himself a wakeboard out of strips of wood. I just come from a very do-it-yourself house. My dad made a canoe and a kayak recently from strips of wood and then, you know, epoxy and resin and all that. My brother's making himself a wakeboard. He also redid his house by himself. That's what happens when you grow up poor. You learn how to do things out of necessity because you can't hire people because it's too expensive. Come on, you little green goblin fucker. Why are you not going? I got my hearing when I was 8. My first grade teacher noticed that I couldn't hear. You know what? For the sake of this build, I'm going to say that that screws in. Just so we can move on. Because I want to show you guys the other parts. So let's flip this back over. And now we have where our face is, right? So now we have to take this gear right here. This will be for our hands. See if I can't focus this camera up. What kind of watch is this? It's a mechanical watch. So this little guy will house the hands. See that? So you see, I have a cat looming. So you see that, you know, these little teeth here will hit the teeth here, or these. This little, well, you can't see because I didn't focus the camera correctly. And actually, you can't see it either way because it's so tiny. So these teeth here, right there, right there. See that? That's what these outer teeth on this thing will hit. So we're gonna take it. First, we're gonna fix the focus. Focus, focus. Let's move this from away from under my hand. We're gonna line that up. Are you there? You're there. Okay, so that fell in perfectly. thank you again to everyone who is subbing. I appreciate you. I'm sorry I'm not reading out your subs. It's hard to focus as is, you know. All right. Now we have to take this washer that I dropped. See this? This. It's basically just to lock in the thing. So we're gonna take this. Okay. We're gonna put that there. Okay. See that? And now we got to put the face on. And this is the face for everyone who may have missed it. Voila. What? There we go. See that? So we're gonna put that on this. So we know that this goes to the outside because that's where the crown is, right? So now we're going to sit this. And so we need to line up. I'm gonna see if I can't. Hold on. I'm not supposed to be grabbing that with my hands, but here we are. Trying to see if I can sit this better in the. Nope. Okay. Really, I feel like. Okay. No, that's about as good as it's gonna get. So I just gotta put these guys back on. Okay. Gonna put this back on. Okay. Then we're gonna put this on. Now, you guys probably haven't seen it, but remember that little hand we took off in the beginning? It's that little, there's like a little pin coming out right there. It's indescribably small. Like a hair. So we just gotta make sure that that's, yep, got in one. Noticing that we can't see diddly squat. There we go. That's a little better, right? How's that? Okay, so we got face sitting on there. Now we're gonna get the hour hand. Where's our little, here it is. All right, we're gonna take the hour hand. Now for the other big pain in the ass part. Okay. Last time I did it, I just kind of pressed. You're not supposed to. So I think they're worried you're going to bend it. This is hard to do when you've had coffee. Here's my other advice for you. If you are going to make yourself a watch, don't drink coffee beforehand. Should you sign it first? Yeah, I'll probably sign it later. It's like definitely not the way you're supposed to do it, but I actually have a tool for this. And yet, it is not working. Don't be a pain in my ass. Don't you be a pain in my ass. So I think, hoopla. Okay. Thank you, Jamie, for posting the link to this watch kit. Okay, well, that's not how I wanted that to go. Shit. I bent it. That's not good. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. There's a slight bend. That's all right. You can always order more hands if, you know, we decide it's too broken. That's what happens sometimes, you know? while they're on now, you guys see that? Yeah, you guys can see that, right? See if we can. There we go. So, because I want to sign it later, I'm not going to close the case yet, but I will show you that, you know, what happens when we, well, hold on, let me put on the seconds hand. Just this itty bitty guy. And then I will show you the watch that we made. So can't see if we have the right side down. Did. I'm gonna use the putty. Why'd it get so dark? Time? Most of my light is being provided by windows. There we go. Woo! Just required me to not blink for a little bit. Okay. So, you can actually see it going. Because I guess, again, that I turned it. Let me just focus here. So, actually just stopped. But I want to show you guys. Oh, that is bent, huh? Okay. I'll fix that after the stream. So, what happens when we flip this over? So we are going to turn this now. Whoa, I should probably make this brighter. There you go. So, here's the watch that we made. If we turn this, pull it out. And see that we're setting the time here. Right? I actually forgot to tighten the screw, but you'll hear some clicky clicks. And that is us. See that? When we turn this guy, it turns this, which turns this barrel that we talked about that houses that big coiled rectangle, right? And then it's slowly feeding power to the rest of, there's like, I think there's like 4 gears right here. So you see that's ticking back and forth, which I don't know if you guys can hear it, but noise canceller, huh? All right. While I stop the noise canceller, while I stop the Onceler, oh, people are hearing it. Good. Let me turn the noise suppression to 0. And then I will see? That's all because of that little fork that's underneath here. I'm trying to see if you can see it. You can't. You can see it way down there. Way underneath the thing. There's a little thing ticking back and forth. I'm trying to see if I can get angle for you. There you go. You see the very edges of that fork. We'll see if I can't show you. Right there. That little thing that's just going up and down, that's the very edges of that fork that is the thing that's making that noise. And you see that it's hitting, you know, that cog right there, that silver cog, all the way down there. And that's what's making that ticking noise. And it's what slowly is doling out the power to the rest. You can see that it's moving the seconds hand. So basically what happens when we pull this out is that, remember that triangular bar that I showed you, that Toblerone looking thing? When we pull this out, it basically shifts the location of where that Toblerone is. So instead of, you know, wind to feed power to the rest, so something down here to, you know, wind this, it is now changing to directly to that barrel of what the hands are sitting on. So that's how you change the time. See? So it's 5:14 here in New York. Click that back in and we'll continue with the time. So that's my pocket watch tutorial, or not my pocket watch, but my wristwatch tutorial. Or not tutorial, really. It was me ranting about watches and how much I love them. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really love watches. They are the stem of basically all technology that we have. I know that there's probably a technology before then that then influences this, but it's like really perfected in a watch. And then they use that perfection to do crazy things. There's an automata, there's these like crazy automatas, right, from like the 1600s that there's one, it's like this little pistol that was made for, I think it was like a prince or something. And there's one button that you can hit that it was like a hunting pistol. And at the front of the gun popped up a little bird. The bird is about like this big. And it's made out of real bird feathers. And it sings. That dude had a pistol that sings. And it squawks and it does all these like amazing things. And it's all technology that we discovered in watches or in trying to pursue keeping time and letting that be accessible to everyone instead of back in England before wristwatches were a common thing, there was a woman who would align her pocket watch to Big Ben, or whatever it's actually called, and she would then go around and like people would pay her to wake them up at certain times, and she would go and like wake them up by like screaming at their windows or whatever. Like, they perfected it to a degree that allowed everyone to have access to it. And then from there, it influenced, tube phonographs and then record players. It's like, it's crazy. It's absolutely wild. And I love watches and pocket watches. I think they are genuinely some of the coolest things. I encourage you to go make yourself a watch. There's that kit that I talked about. If you want something a little bit more advanced, there's a website where you can get pocket watch parts. If you Google pocket watch parts, it'll be like the first website that comes up. It's like starts with an E. I always forget the name. I've been using it for years and I still forget the name. It's just the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing. Don't let yourself get too frustrated. If you start to build watches. Oh, I forgot to put the straps on. But basically, there's these little bars that you can pull. You'll pull like this little lever, and then you just set them in there. Again, it has my brother's initials on it. It's genuinely the coolest thing. It's very fun to make, and then when you make it and you have that first watch that works, and you hear it ticking, and you see that it's kept time for 24 hours. Oh, it's so cool. Yes, S-Slinger. Thank you. The singing bird pistols are very cool. I would look up videos on automata. There's one that is in the Met Museum in Manhattan. It's this girl who can write an entire letter, and it's customizable. It's this robot that writes a letter. It's this little girl who sits at a school desk. She has a pen in her hand. She picks up the pen and she dips it into the inkwell and then comes back and writes a personalized letter. And it's because when you look inside, because they have it open at the Met, they have it basically works like a music box. If you ever look at one of those music boxes that you turn that's on like those barrels and then you see like the prongs hit it. It works kind of like that, where you have a bunch of cylinders that correspond to a certain letter movement. So, the height and the timing of each little prong affects if the arm is going up or it's going down. And so you just change the barrels. If you want to write deer, you have to put in the barrels DEAR. And then she'll write deer. It's like the coolest thing. She's sitting on this like tower. Look up the chess automata as well. That one's fascinating. The original got lost in a fire, but they recreated it, and it's super cool. It's also in the Met. I think that's it. I got really passionate about watches and gears and cool old technologies because I think it's very cool. Oh, there's also a swan automata that is made out of silver. The whole thing is made out of silver, and it's the swan that like looks around and then it dips its head into the water and comes out with a fish, and the fish is squirming in its mouth. It's super neat. It's super cool. It's really beautiful. It's like it's all on YouTube. I would just look it up. It's like I can't think of anything cooler than that. It's just a bunch of dudes who were given like 12 years to make a gift for a king. And they put all of their brain power into it to figure out how to make some sort of magic. It's really amazing. If you think about the fact that they didn't use any computers and they didn't use any sort of, I don't know. It's like all human brain power. It's all human brain power, and it's the coolest thing. That's it. Thank you for joining me on my building a watch. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you get into watches. If you do get into watches, please let me know. Tweet at me the watches that you're fixing or the watches that you're making, because I would love to see it. I think it's just, I don't know. I get very passionate about people learning how to do things, because I think that everyone kind of underestimates themselves. I think that everyone can learn anything if you just let yourself enjoy it. I don't know. I really want to encourage people to get hobbies and trades. I really think trades are very important. So, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna have a bonus stream tomorrow that's Patreon specific. If you guys are in the $5 tier and up, you will get access to it. I'm actually gonna make the link right after this and send it out. Yeah. I'll send that out. And it'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be drawn. So I'll see you then. Okay. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.